The safety of Bangladesh's garment factories is again in the spotlight, 5 years after the worst industrial accident in the country's history. More than 100 people died and thousands more were injured when the Rana Plaza building complex in the capital, Dhaka, collapsed in 2013. It exposed poor safety standards and regulation, and raised questions over the responsibilities of the big retail brands given their push to keep prices as low as possible in an era of fast fashion. Following that disaster, 2 internationally backed efforts to improve safety standards were put in place. But on 31 December this year, one of these projects winds up its operations. The other one is involved in a legal battle over whether it should continue to work in the country, and under what conditions. So how safe is it now for workers in the garment manufacturing industry in Bangladesh? The ready-made garment industry is hugely important to the economy of Bangladesh. It accounts for the vast majority of total exports, and has been expanding rapidly in past decades, supplying markets in Europe, North America and Asia. After the factory disaster of 2013, the major retail brands signed up to the 2 international efforts to improve factory standards. The Accord on Fire and Safety in Bangladesh is the larger of this, bringing together more than 180 retailers and importers from Europe, North America and Asia, including Primark in the United Kingdom, H&M in Sweden, and the Italian group Benetton. The other one is the Alliance for Bangladesh Worker Safety of 29 North American retailers, including major ones like Costco, Walmart and Sears. And the government in Bangladesh has its own safety compliance regime as well, known as the National Initiative. There are 271 garment factories in Bangladesh as of June this year, according to the International Labour Organization, ILO. It's important to say there are many more production facilities not regulated under any of these safety arrangements. One report published this year by New York University suggests there may be as many as 8,000 garment factories if you include subcontractors operating outside the more formal factory sector. There have been significant improvements to factory safety since the internationally backed schemes began sending teams of experts, both local and international, to address fire, electrical and structural concerns. The Alliance for Worker Safety says that by November this year, of the factories that fall under its remit, 428 had completed all the necessary work. It says its members will work from 1 January 2019 with local partners to monitor safety standards and training. The country director of the ILO in Bangladesh, Tomo Paltanam, told BBC News there had been significant gains in safety. However, the Accord on Fire and Building Safety remains more cautious about its progress. It has many more factories under its remit, and says it still needs more time to finish its work. Its latest progress report states that just 187 factories had completed all the work identified after initial inspections, with a further 220 factories behind schedule in making improvements, and of a further 745 factories which fall under the Bangladesh government's initiative. Only 218 had completed over half the safety improvements required by November this year. Last year, the government of Bangladesh announced the formation of the Remediation Coordination Cell, ROC, supported by the ILO, to carry on the work of improving safety, whilst the International Regimes and Commerce Minister Tawfiq Ahmed told the BBC that the ROC is ready to takeover, and we are now experienced enough to do the inspections ourselves. But not all those involved in the international law cause agree with this assessment. Industrial Global Union, one of the signatories to the Accord, has put out a statement voicing serious concerns. The union's communications director, Patrick Brandmark, told the BBC that the ROC is still at early stage of development in terms of its capacity. Joris Holdingzeel, deputy director of the Accord, has expressed concern over the apparent lack of action by the local authorities against the factories not up to scratch. There is no proven track record of enforcement of the law against the non-compliant factories, he told the BBC. But it's clear that government factory owners and influential groups in Bangladesh have become increasingly frustrated with the internationally backed Accord. The recent piece in the English-language Daily Star entitled, "Accord, Blessing Turns to a Burden," describes what they see as unreasonable demands for safety improvements. The factories operate on tight margins to meet the international brands' desire to keep costs down. Implementing those safety measures can be expensive, and some factory bosses have questioned the push for greater compliance at a time when the prices being paid for government exports keep falling. The big brands have been watching recent developments closely. HM told the BBC they wanted to see a proper timeline for a smooth and progressive transition into the local area safety monitoring system is fully ready, but at the moment, there's no agreement as to when that might be. Radmar from Reality Check. Send us your questions. Follow us on Twitter. A popular tourist attraction has become the latest Chinese company to show solidarity with Huawei's chief finance officer, Meng Wanzhou, who was arrested in Canada on 1 December. Shannon Mountain Scenic Park in eastern Hainan province said it would waive the $9.65 ticket fee for anyone carrying a Huawei phone. Ms. Meng, who was given bail in Canada, faces extradition to the United States on charges of breaking Iran sanctions. Her case has upped tensions with China. Use Huawei phones. Shoot grand photos on the mountain. A notice on the Shannon Park's social media account said, "We wish friends around the world who support Huawei's success and bliss." The offer would last until 29 December. The South China Morning Post reported, but it was met with some criticism among China's social media users, who claimed it was discriminatory. Huawei phone owners are being offered other enticements too. They can get a 20% discount at a border in Beijing. Seen in Beijing, bring a Huawei phone and get 20% off. Similar to this story we covered yesterday, https://qxl19ypqlpic. Twitter.com Sokolov. End of Twitter post by AtluOceanG. At least one firm has threatened to penalize anyone buying Apple products. A few days ago, Manpad Shenzhen-based LED and display manufacturer offered subsidies to any employees buying Huawei phones. It also pledged to fine anyone who bought an Apple iPhone. United States prosecutors alleged Ms. Meng, 46, used a Huawei subsidiary called Skycom to evade sanctions on Iran between 2009 and 2014. They also alleged she publicly misrepresented Skycom as being a separate company from Huawei, and that she deceived banks about the true relationship between the two companies. Ms. Meng, who is the daughter of Huawei's founder, has denied any wrongdoing and said she will contest the allegations. Life of Huawei's high-flying heiress. The United States has been investigating the Chinese telecoms giant, the world's second-largest smartphone maker, since 2016. believing that it used Skycom to bring United States manufacturing equipment and millions of dollars in transactions to Iran in violation of sanctions. Ms. Man's detention comes amid an increasingly acrimonious trade dispute between Washington and Beijing. China is angry at her detention, saying she has not violated any laws. Beijing has threatened severe consequences unless Canada releases the executive. Since her arrest, 2 Canadians, a former diplomat and a businessman, have been detained in China on suspicion of harming national security. United States President Donald Trump said last week that he might intervene in the United States Justice Department's case against Ms. Mann if it would serve national security interests. I'll help achieve a trade deal with China if I think it's good for what will be certainly the largest trade deal ever made, which is a very important thing. What's good for national security? I would certainly intervene if I thought it was necessary, he told Reuters news agency. Canada reacted by urging Mr. Trump not to politicize the situation. Our extradition partners should not seek to politicize the extradition process or use it for ends other than the pursuit of justice, Foreign Minister Chrystia Freeland said. A poacher has been ordered to watch the Disney film Bambi repeatedly after he was convicted of illegally killing hundreds of deer. Missouri hunter David Barry Jr. must view the film at least once a month during his year-long sentence.